What's up? So this is going to be my first video, basically showing off Brawlhalla. It's a free game you can get on Steam. For those who have played games like Smash before, it's one of those types of games. It's like a platformer. The goal is to knock your opponent off the map. So very similar in that regard. But since I have a lot of Smash videos on my channel, probably can tell that I've been into the Smash scene for a while. But this is kind of new. It has its own different elements to the game. There's no shielding in this game. It's just there's a lot of things to learn for someone coming in from a Smash perspective. So I decided that I wanted to just kind of show that perspective of like a Smash player. And so I'm now playing this game, and I'm trying to get better at it, and trying to figure out how neutral works, try to figure out, what attacks I should be using and stuff like that. So, yeah, this is going to be a series that I'm going to be trying to just showcase like the development of a player learning a game, just learning a fighting game, and it just happens to be the one that I chose. So, as far as what you guys will get to see, I'm going to be showing ranked replays, just kind of talking about what I'm bad at, what I need to get better at. Right now, the focus of this video is going to be talking about the weapons in the game. So in this game, there are 2 weapons that you have access to with a character, and depending on which character, you get access to 2 different weapons. So with the character that I will be playing in this video, it's going to be Cassidy. So she has hammer, and she also has guns. So right now, my weakness is that I am just terrible with hammer. I just don't know how to use hammer, and when I'm playing guns, I'm comfortable. When I'm playing hammer, I'm not. So I'm just be talking about like things that I can do better when I pick up a hammer. So one of the first things is that you can see this move is great. The disjoint on it, I have the hitboxes turned on. You can see the disjoint is quite large. Covers about 1/3 of this map at least. It's just a great spacing tool. Does 17.5 damage. Oh wow, did 18 damage there because this guy has low defense. It's just a great move. It can lead into other moves. Basically, I haven't been using this move nearly enough, and that's part of my problem. I'm realizing that if I want to play grounded, my entire ground game needs to be centered around sidelight. So how to space with sidelight, how to maneuver such that you can land sidelight. There's a lot of ways to move in this game. You can do dash jumps. You can just walk back and forth. The walking speed is pretty fast in this game, so using walk is great to just move, micro position, micro space. Yeah, I mean, just like what I just showed there. So like doing a down air in neutral like that, the hitbox on this move is so bad. Like, to try to hit somebody with this move, just like out of neutral, is just not a good idea because, well, one, the damage is about the same. It's actually lower than if you hit somebody with a sidelight. But sidelight, as you can see, the range on that is just phenomenal. Keeping players out of the ground. So now if I throw out this move, like a down air just doesn't, like, you see that? Like, I'm putting the hitbox towards him and it's not hitting him because it hits below. So like you can scoop people up that are below you, but yeah, just to throw out a dare like this is just terrible. You're better off just throwing out a sidelight. And I'm realizing more and more that like when I'm jumping and stuff, like I really need to space and hold my positioning. You can slide forward if you aren't careful. Like if you hold your drift towards them, you'll just keep walking forward, and you're typically just going to run into one of their attacks if you whiff a move. So just hold position is probably the #1 thing that I'm just not good at. I'm just trying to hit them. I'm trying to hit some people, get some damage on them, but controlling your space is very important. So just using that baseline fundamental idea is very important. Just hold your ground, push forward if you need to, but don't give your opponent an overcommitment unnecessarily. If you whiff a move, you can cover yourself, but you really don't want to be just putting yourself in harm's way. just because you're trying to get that hit on the opponent. So, all right, well, I wanted to talk about some of the replays that I had recently, just so you can kind of see the dynamic between switching between weapons, stuff like that. So, you know, when I pick up a hammer, when I pick up guns or whatever, how do I go about that transition? How do I go about maximizing the most out of both weapons? So let's go ahead and look at some ranked replays. I'll look at, for now, we'll just look at 2. That should be enough for this first video. We'll try to go through it quickly without pausing too much. This character I'm playing against has pretty good weapons in terms of range, but this guy didn't seem to know how to use his... He seems to like the greatsword, which is what he's using here, and he kind of just is playing very hopeful. He throws out these attacks, doesn't really space them, doesn't really respect that I can play around him. So I kind of just, what I'm noticing from playing him in the beginning was he's really just throwing out attacks and hoping that they work. So I just kind of, I'm going to try to look to punish him for that. So starting out with guns, and my opponent went back to the greatsword. So now I have the hammer, and I really don't know how to get kills with hammer other than just fishing for this side air, which I've been doing. Kind of threw out a random attack there, hoping he would get hit. Trying to edge guard him there. So somehow I got him with a down air kill, but that's not my bread and butter approach. Alright, scooped him up there. The gravity cancel. It's pretty good with guns. It just hits a little bit higher than they might expect. So there I spaced around him. Okay, so that might be a property of that specific attack, but he basically just powered through my hitbox and hit me with a disjoint, which I was not expecting that at all. If he can consistently do something like that, then that could be a really cool thing to do with this weapon. Or at least with this character, because that's a signature attack. So again, I have the hammer and I don't know what the heck to do. I'm just like throwing out moves wildly, as you can see. So this is my inexperience. I just don't know how to hit opponents. So I went back to guns because I was like, this is not going to go well if I stay this weapon. And you can kind of see my approach to using guns. I really just try to use the range on guns to wall out. That was a good call out by my opponent. He just knew I was going to jump into it. So I tried to do something there, but he got around it. Okay, just fishing for this. Yeah, I land and then get him with my my kill option there. I should actually be doing that with hammer, because hammer can actually convert off of downlight. So just spacing him out with side light. It's a good move. He went for a read. Okay, I'm just kind of throwing out random. Alright, my opponent gets a kill here. He did an unreactable ground pound. Actually, it might have been reactable, but for the purpose of that, my own reaction, it was not doable. Tried to go for a read there. Yeah. This video pretty much just demonstrates that I don't know how to use hammer, and I just am leaning heavily on guns in most of my matches. So that's not what I want to be doing going forward. I really want to be able to use the hammer effectively because it does a lot of damage and it's a very strong weapon. But at least for this video, I was not comfortable enough to be able to, or at least for that match, I wasn't comfortable enough to be able to use it. So, alright, one more ranked video. This opponent was much more competent at trying to play around me. He did a lot of dodging my attacks. As you can see right here, he's going to dodge me immediately. Just kind of trying to maybe get in my head a little bit, play some mind games. Trying to show me like he knows more about the game's mechanics and just using dodge well. He definitely is good at using it, at least compared with me. I don't know how to use dodges. I just kind of try to use my space to not get hit. but there is definitely a place for using dodge well, and just dodging your opponent's move and then striking after you avoid them. So kind of just jumped over him, got him with the side air. Again, jumped over, side air. And this is again showing kind of like what I do with guns is I feel like I can play more reactively because the way the hitboxes come out with guns, they're very they cover you well, so I don't have to be as much afraid of my opponent just punishing me as long as I space well, and I can just kind of be proactive and reactive at the same time. With hammer, I kind of feel like I have to be proactive all the time, and I don't know how to punish stuff. I messed up there. Didn't. So with guns, if you X pivot on neutral air, it typically true combos off of a down light. My opponent just somehow out-prioritized my down air. So I'm just trying to get the weapon safely. I'm just trying to think how he's gonna block me. So I jumped over him. Kind of missed the dash there. Nice stuff from my opponent. He kind of gets in with the side light, and that move hits behind actually. Kind of crazy. Okay, just barely crossed on my opponent, or got behind him, so he couldn't hit me with that. That was just a Hail Mary. I have no idea what I'm doing. Just throwing out a bunch of random attacks because I'm nervous, I guess. It's very hard to play calm and collected in ranked if you're close to the opponent's skill level, I've noticed. Just throw out random attacks here. Okay. Neutral light is just bread and butter. Just throw out neutral light. Okay, that was supposed to be neutral light, and it would have worked. That was bad. I got lucky there. Yeah, as you can see, I'm kind of just winning the game because of end light. My opponent doesn't know how to deal with me just running up and end lighting him unreactively. So I'm just hoping he lands on this. Yep, just catch his landing with side light. My opponent thought I would run into him. I did not. Really good dodge by him. So he saw my attack here. There, he dodged. Actually, he didn't really dodge anything because I wouldn't have hit him. But he delayed his momentum enough to be able to land, like get behind me here. And side air. So good stuff by him. I have a big lead though, so I think I only win this game because of this lead. My opponent is just probably better than me, honestly. Overall, but I got really lucky in some situations, and I managed to close out the stocks at critical times. Yeah, so it's just one hit. That's all it takes there. As you can see, when I picked up the hammer in this game, I just couldn't win neutral at all. So going forward, I'm just going to need to practice, I guess, both building up damage with hammer, like using side light well, and also how do I get kills, how do I get those down light into kill confirms. So that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my perspective on the game. I'm going to try to post more ranked matches and just talk about them. And yeah, until next time, have a good one. Bye.